All right, guys, so we're doing some tomatoes here. We've got, I'll show you the soil I'm working with here. I've got organic Miracle-Gro and black cow manure. But I hate going with Miracle-Gro. I was told that it has chemical fertilizers in it that mess up the bacteria in the soil. And it was kind of the only option unless I bought several tiny little bags. So I went with the organic option. I don't know, it is what it is. Before I forget, these are the tomatoes. We got Giant Pink Belgium and Big Boy Hybrid tomatoes. Those are my favorite personally. That and cherry tomatoes. But those are what we're working with today. All right, so what I did is I got me a bucket, mix about 1/3 black cow manure with roughly 2/3 of the potting mix stuff. All right, also, once upon a time, I used to just buy these from the store, the plants, and I found it more fun to grow them on my own, but save these if you are doing that. I like the clear ones because you can kind of see whether or not your tomatoes are getting root bound in there. But we'll just take one and kind of fill it up light, don't compact it in there, but leave it to where you can kind of burrow out a little hole. Get your tray here. I've got peppers and all that going on, but I'm just doing the tomatoes for right now. And this may be a little more difficult than I thought. I should have well, shoot. Well, naturally, some got stuck in there. That's like all that came out. But anyways, just kind of make a little hole for it with your finger. Stick it in there like so. And hope that the plant wasn't too stressed out, because I got a lot less dirt to come out of that cup than I thought I did, which kind of sucks, but we'll see if we can't do better with the other ones. But that's kind of what I'm after. Now, this time, I'll put them level with the dirt. The dirt that was in the little cup, level with the dirt in the cup, because I've got even bigger ones that this will probably be put in one more time before I put it in the garden. And that time we'll bury it up a little bit of the stem, because the stem, these little hairs, I don't know if it'll kind of zoom in on that or not, or focus, but there's these little hairs that will, when they're watered and they're under the dirt, will sprout more roots to kind of give it a better base. So I'm gonna do the rest of these and we'll go from there. I had a thought. I am a nurse. I'm not really having any special qualifications in any sort of like recovery type deal, but that's something that I've kind of I'm required to go to AA right now, and I've had a couple shorts and a video coming up that I was gonna make today, and then something came up. But something that some people really benefit from is something called horticulture therapy. And that's like getting a new sense of purpose. You're taking care of something from seed to eventually reaping the benefits and kind of playing the long game sort of part of it. I don't know. I feel like you know what I'm trying to say. But that works with any sort of addiction, or if you're depressed, kind of like owning a purpose and kind of staying busy, keeping yourself occupied. There we go. That's a lot better. Finally got some of the bottom roots kind of ripped off the first couple. Hopefully that's not bad. But it's something that is a lot of fun. It takes a whole summer's worth of work. You got to weed the garden and kind of stay on top of things, and eventually you get to reap the benefits of that. I guess if you don't like tomatoes, pick a different plant. I do usually peppers, onions, tomatoes, usually some green beans. I like to can those. But you can do whatever. And if you don't like vegetables, I guess do it anyways and give it to your friends or donate it to someone who needs it. But it's something to keep you busy and keep your mind off of things that are kind of getting you down, get you outside. Lots of people are vitamin D deficient, and obviously being out in the sun is really good for that. So that's kind of my thought on that. But look into it. It's pretty successful. Some places that help people out, it's a part of their spiel. Anyways, so we've got our tomatoes going here. What I'm gonna do is get some labels for these and kind of go on from there. All right, we got us some water. Let's go on over here to the greenhouse. And we got the window open. We're being fancy. Anyways, here's our potted tomato plants. I'm just gonna give them a little bit of water. This watering jug sucks, but those roots will have more room to expand. I don't like how I just kind of threw these together, these benches, and they're not perfectly flat.
Hello.
Oh, what's up, kiddo?
Nothing. I want to see what you're doing.
I'm watering these.
You have your watering can out?
Yeah.
Finally, somebody besides to water.
Well, we've been watering, dork.
No watering can.
Well, the sprayer was working fine. Anyways, there we go. Like I said, don't forget to label. These are pink Belgian tomatoes. I've never grown these before. Maybe put in the comments, what's the weirdest tomato you've ever grown? I tried some black Cherokee ones once. They were kind of, I don't know, they were okay. But I grew some Mr. Stripey ones once, and those weren't bad. They were pretty sweet though. I like regular tomatoes, I think. But that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go back and do the rest of the tomatoes. But as always, like and subscribe. Put down in the comments what's your favorite tomato. I got cherry tomatoes, the pink Belgian ones that I've got here, and then there's also, I forget what they're called, like big boy tomatoes or something like that, some sort of hybrid tomato. But yeah, let me know what you think. Y'all have a good one.
Ooh, I like tomatoes.
All right, I think I got it figured out. If you tilt it to the side, kind of gently squeeze a little from the underneath all around, while gently pulling on the stem, the whole thing comes out. You don't have to rip off like this bottom chunk. How about that? I guess it'll be all right. We're working here. Anyways, I don't know. I decided to go ahead and do the rest of them. I was just going to do those pink Belgian ones, but we'll do our big boy tomatoes too, because this tray comes in 2 separate pieces and I only did 1/2 and it doesn't make any sense. So we're doing the other half. The cherry tomatoes are a little small, so we'll let them be for maybe a couple days or something. I don't know. Who knows? Might do them. We'll see. But I had already mentioned horticulture therapy, but I'm looking for some engagement here so I can go live and do more things, engage with people. So subscribe and put down there, do you garden just for the heck of it, just for food, or to stay busy, or is there some sort of purpose to it, such as giving yourself a good reason to go outside, get some natural vitamin D, stay busy to overcome boredom or some sort of sadness, because it is kind of, you know, every time I garden, I always end up kind of like, I'm dad and these are my babies. Watch them grow up from a little seed into this big old plant. But anyways, I don't know. I like to, one of my favorite things to do is to do zucchini and then make zucchini bread. But zucchini's not zucchini. Zucchini bread is not zucchini bread unless it has chocolate chips in it. Otherwise, I'm not eating it. That's probably not a good thing, but oh well. Yeah, check this out. I wish I would have thought of that at first, because now it just kind of slides right into that hole that I had made with my finger. Those first 3 tomatoes, I think we're missing maybe about this much of the bottom of the roots. But I watered them good and they're in some good soil, so hopefully they don't. I've found that later on, I used to let my tomatoes just grow over and kind of become a mess. And I saw on a gardening video, some guy in Michigan, I can't remember the channel, but you can prune off the suckers that kind of grow in like the armpit of the stem and the branch. And they seem to have it to where it's literally just the stem and they've got a 12-foot tomato plant and there's just the top that has leaves. And I tried doing that and I think I stressed them out or something, because usually the stem kind of dries up and dies. Maybe, I don't know, I wasn't watering them enough. They have a big thing on their channel with making sure that you water deep enough into the soil. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Maybe my garden soil is not good. But because there for a couple years I hadn't fertilized like you should. Probably after every growing season you should probably fertilize it. But I skipped a couple. And suddenly they were all kind of dying, and I ended up having to buy some Dr. Earth thing. It's like a couple essential oils in it, and it's like an antibiotic spray for, I know blight is a thing, and blossom end rot, and there's a couple different things that can happen to plants, but I ended up having to buy that stuff, and it smells really good. It smells like clove, but it worked for a little while, it seemed, and then things kind of kept dying. So I'm not really sure what happened there, but we're on our last one that I'm going to do for these here, because you'll note These three here are the same as this guy, but they sprouted a little later. So I'm gonna leave those alone until their roots kind of fill this little cup up more. Yeah. See, you can tell they're kind of getting, not necessarily root bound yet, but they're kind of working on it. So it's a good idea to put them in here so they can grow. What I usually do, what I usually do is once these get to be a certain height, and I just kind of eyeball it. I don't measure it or anything. Or you can see the roots kind of working around the rim of the bottom, kind of like how I just showed you for these little cups. I've got ones that are about twice the size of this, and what I'll do is I'll clip off, there'll be more growth up top, so I'll clip off the bottom branch or two, and these little seed leaves here, I'll let them fall off. Sometimes I rip them off, sometimes I don't, but I'll bury it to about right here, and then that whole length of stem, more roots will grow out. So, but anyways, I'm gonna grab the labels and we'll label these and take them over to the greenhouse and water them. All right, so here's all of our tomatoes so far. We got the pink Belgium and the big boy tomatoes, and we're going to water these the same way that we watered the others. Even though I noticed with the organic, that doesn't have those little white peat things in them, but it still seems to get the water through there pretty good.
Hi.
Hi again. Oop, hold on, I'm holding my, don't tickle me.
Fun?
Ooh, splash a lot of dirt on that one.
What time is it? Is it 8 or 9?
It's not 8 or 9. It's probably about 5 o'clock-ish, maybe.
I'll go check the time.
Okay. All right. So there we go. I'll probably do my cherry tomatoes, but we'll see. One thing you'll notice is the benches here are up on a cinder block. That's all the wood I had for a leg for it, but I've got them up all the way around because in years past I've had green beans and cucumbers, whatever you name it, even flowers all up under there. And I noticed only after the fact that on the back of the seed packets for these, it says start so many weeks before you're going to plant them, or to just plant them after the frost because they grow. And a lot of green beans have unfortunately passed beyond the living, so to speak. And that's one thing to pay attention to if you got a greenhouse or if you're going to get into something like this, because it is a lot of fun. Definitely make sure that you read when they're supposed to be planted. But here is an example of a bigger cup. You can see there, these will eventually cloud up the root systems down here in the bottom, and you'll have to stick and plant here. And then this is what will be the final stage before we go into the garden here. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and do these cherry tomatoes. And just a little tip, I guess. I have 4 cherry plants, 2 of those little stick label things that I had. So what works out really nice is duct tape. Peel it off. Maybe the sun will make it fade, I don't know, but these are a little bit shorter than the other ones, so it'll probably be a no-brainer which is which when the time comes. But grab that.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. It comes right out. You should have seen the first 3. I kind of ripped the roots off.
Aw, poor baby.
One thing to watch out for is whenever you get this, you know, organic is supposed to be good for you. Whenever I hear organic, I think of, well, I'm just going to say it. I think of like people in California. It's organic. But I don't know, whatever. I noticed that whenever you get organic soil stuff, that there's always a lot more like sticks and mulchy type stuff in there, and it's not like just loose dirt. So that's something to kind of look out for, because it does kind of get in the way, and it's annoying to kind of have to sort that out. But I guess it is what it is. So there we go. It's another cherry tomato.
Tuck it in a little bit more.
Oh, you're gonna tuck it in a little more?
But it's nice and cozy for the night.
Oh, they need to be cozy. Now this one's little. I don't know if I want, we're gonna try it, but oh, I'm ripping the roots out, I feel like.
Hi, baby. Watch
Yeah,
out.
we don't wanna.
Just be careful.
I'm trying to be careful.
This is that one last.
Well, I don't know. I'm stubborn and I feel committed to it.
Please don't let the roots out. Two done. Now I'm almost gonna get 3 done. There's
There.
bugs everywhere.
He's got some roots. Maybe that one wasn't quite ready yet. Hopefully he does okay. There's one. You want to tuck him in, I suppose? Your hole is,
Sorry.
here we go. See? Just a random piece of a stick. That's why the generic... I used to always buy Miracle-Gro because it's like the biggest name. It's like loose dirt with 0 chunks in it. One year I tried the generic Walmart brand. It's called like Expert
Little
Garden.
baby, you're gonna be tucked in.
Careful,
so
don't break the stem.
I won't. I was just...
Anyways, I tried the Expert Garden potting soil, and it was like a bag of mulch basically. So I don't know, like I said, I was told that it's got harsh chemicals in there. It kills the beneficial bacteria in the soil, and it kind of ruins your garden soil. I don't know too much about that, but a lot of people seem to kind of have the same concern. So, like I said, Lowe's was sold out of a lot of stuff. They had tiny bags of other different brands. They had a big bag of organic Miracle-Gro, so I just went with that, so I wouldn't have to have a ton of small plants. So, all right, this is the system here. I've got some water down in there so that the roots can kind of suck it up. I'm just gonna take this half, put him back in there. And there we go.
Done.
I'll do these pepper plants here sooner or later, maybe not quite yet, because they don't seem to really be, I mean, there's a couple little roots barely peeking out of the hole, so we won't do those quite yet, but eventually we'll do the same thing with them. But we got all these tomatoes here taken care of. See, we've got one little guy that's just now starting. I don't know what the deal is. It'd be kind of nice if they all sprouted at the same time. And he's still kind of small. I struggled with that one little guy, so we'll let him kind of get there. And then this is my first year ever doing these types of onions. They're yellow onions, but rather than like a bulb, it was a tiny little black seed. And I'm not really sure. I just don't know. So we will kind of see what happens, but I don't know. First time ever doing those. What's going on? More tomatoes? All right, guys. Well, here you have it. I did a little rearranging. These daisies still haven't even sprouted. I don't know what's going on there. We got our peppers. baby tomatoes, onions. We got our 4 cherry tomatoes going there. These flowers are others. And then, interesting, these are supposed to be like a wildflower that's to attract bees and butterflies and other pollinator things. But here, interestingly, we have, I think this is basil. It's not oregano. I can't remember the name of the other one. I'm pretty sure this is basil because it smells Italian-y, but anyways. That's it for today. We'll do more gardening stuff, and we'll do some. We still got green beans and cucumber seeds that I haven't even planted yet because it's still beginning of April. We'll probably wait about maybe 3 more weeks before we get into that stuff, but we'll fill up the cups with dirt and do the same old thing. Maybe some tips, but that's all we get. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a good one.